A short time ago, U.S. President Barack Obama had this message.
What has been true in Egypt should be true in Iran, which is that people should be able to express their opinions and their grievances and seek a more responsive government. What's been different is the Iranian government's response, which is to shoot people and beat people and arrest people. My hope and expectation is that we're going to continue to see the people of Iran have the courage to be able to express their yearning for greater freedoms and a more representative government.
Well, senior White House correspondent Ed Henry covered the president's news conference for us. He joins us now from the White House with much more. Ed, to pick up on the points made about Iran by the president, these are very pointed comments made by U.S. President Obama, clearly on the side of the protesters. Kind of different from back in 2009, though. This unambiguous stance in support of the protesters in Iran. Is this because of Egypt, this difference in tone and substance?
Well, Aisha, you put your finger right on it. I think that clearly Egypt changed everything, not just in Iran, but in the entire region. And I pressed the president in the news conference on that very point by saying, look, there are some people around the world who think you were a step behind the protesters when it came to Egypt and that you were too cautious. The president kind of bristled at that and said that he believes his administration got it right throughout the whole crisis in Egypt and walked that very fine line of trying to push this along without dictating the terms to both President Mubarak and the people of Egypt. And he said, in this case, when I asked him, what is your message to the protesters? He said, look, that the U.S. supports their yearning for freedom. And again, this is not just Iran. You've got protests building in places like Jordan and Algeria. And so what we're seeing, as the president himself noted, is very rapid, dramatic change happening right before our very eyes. But there are still some around the world wondering if the U.S. has been too slow to embrace it, too slow to kind of push some of this along out of a fear that it will bring too much stability, instability, if you will, for U.S. interests in the region, Aisha.
So, Ed, I've got to ask you, as the president makes these statements, very pointed, saying the time is now for change to these Arab leaders, there are those that are going to be wondering whether this is now casting the America as an unstable ally.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, look, this White House knows full well that it's a very delicate balancing act. And when I asked the president, for example, whether he thinks this improves the chances of Mideast peace, for example, because of unrest in the region, he said, look, there are going to be challenges, but on balance, he thinks this will improve the situation long term. But he said there's no doubt there are going to be challenges in the short term because democracy is messy. And that's probably the understatement of the year, Aisha.
Yeah, indeed. White House correspondent Ed Henry joining us there with some analysis. Appreciate it, Ed. Thank you.